Do you want your game to go from looking like this with dull and uninteresting colours with bad FPS to a vibrant appearance and a smoother performance like this? If so, then this video will tell you the best in-game graphics settings and PostFX settings for visibility and performance, as well as some monitor settings in the Nvidia control panel. Firstly, in game settings, most things are preference based like UI colours and menu background, stuff like that. However, there are some things that are worth looking at. For example, I have my FOV on max as it allows you to see more of your peripheral, helping you to see more things around you. I also have auto RAM cleaner and only use physical cores off, as Tarkov's in-game RAM cleaner isn't the best and using a third-party RAM cleaner is probably a better option. Moving on to graphic settings, I use my native screen resolution, which is 1920 by 1080, and I also use borderless screen mode as I like to be able to tab out easier. However, I recommend you use full screen for the best performance. My aspect ratio is 5:3 as this stretches your game a very slight amount, giving you a slight performance boost, while also making other players seem slightly larger, making it easier to spot them. My texture quality is set to medium as I have a decent computer. However, if you find that you are struggling to run maps like Lighthouse or Shoreline, then I recommend putting this to low. Or if you just want maximum performance and don't care about how your game looks visually, then also put this to low. My shadows are set to low as setting them higher tanks FPS and also makes shadows much darker, making it harder to spot people in darker areas. My object LOD quality is set to 2 as this is a distance where loot will render in and also things like trees, but doesn't affect the distance where players render. So having this set to 2 will allow you to see players who are far away easier as the foliage won't render in as well. The overall visibility is the distance where certain structures or distant terrain loads in, as you can see by this example on customs. When it's at its lowest you can't see the tower, but when it's at its max it renders in. So turning this to a lower value will help with performance as further unnecessary structures will not render in. I have cloud quality set to high as I really like the look of the new clouds they added, so I keep it on high, but for the best FPS set this to low. For anti-aliasing I use TAA as this helps smooth out sharp edges and also makes things like wires not flicker in and out, and it doesn't reduce your frame rate. With Nvidia DLSS, I recommend trying it out for yourself as this setting can be quite system based, as some people turn it on and see a 20 plus FPS boost and some people turn it on and lose frames, but for me I keep it off because I don't see any performance difference when I turn it on. 2 AMD settings I have turned off because I'm not really sure what these ones do, so I just keep them off. Keep resampling at 1 times off unless you can't run any map at all, as this makes your textures extremely bad. With HBAO or ambient occlusion, turn this off as it adds more shadows to certain areas, making it harder to see in them, and also tanks some FPS if you turn it up. With SSR I recommend turning this off as this makes the water quality better. If you want your water to look nice, turn it on high, but I would only recommend this if you have a really good PC because it tanks a lot of FPS, but it does look really good. If you want it on low, it looks alright, but it can look quite blurry, so I just keep it at off. And anti-stropic filtering, I just turn this off as it just tanks FPS without really changing the game much at all. With Nvidia Reflex Low Latency, turn this to on plus boost as this will allow your GPU to work with the maximum efficiency for Tarkov. My sharpness is 0.1 as this just tanks FPS without doing anything but make your game look slightly better. Everything else in this setting I just have turned off because most of it is just stuff that makes your game look better but tanks a load of FPS. Except from Streets of Tarkov lower texture resolution mode, which turns your texture quality to low when playing on Streets of Tarkov to help with your performance. That's it for the graphic settings, so let's move on to PostFX. I have my brightness on 10 as I changed most of my brightness settings in the Nvidia control panel, which we'll get onto soon. With saturation I have it on 30 and colourfulness on 70. As these both make colours pop out more and look more vibrant without doing anything to FPS. With clarity I have it on 50 because I quite like how it looks. It makes stuff look a bit more 3D almost and makes textures pop out a bit more without tanking any FPS. With Luma Sharpen I have this on 50 as it makes stuff look more detailed without tanking much FPS, only a couple frames. So if you're worried about a couple frames then put it on 0, but if you like how it looks then put it on 50 because I find if you put it on 0 it kind of makes stuff look a bit blurry. At a distance, see all those rocks over there as opposed to now. I just prefer it on 50. Adaptive sharpen, I have it on 0 because it makes stuff look too detailed, and it does tank a bit of FPS also. As for color grading, I use boost. There's a lot to choose from, but most of them look like Instagram filters. But I quite like boost as it makes the game kind of look like a Wild West scene, and I just like the feel of it. Obviously too high, it does look like an Instagram filter here, so I just keep on 60. And colorblind mode, I have no colorblind. As for the sound settings, I usually have my overall volume on 100, but for the purpose of recording I just have it on 60, and all the rest is kind of preference based. Interface, that's just like the noise of, like that noise there. So if you find that annoying, just turn it down. Same with chat, music and hideout volume. However, binaural audio, I recommend turning this on as it helps you to find out the direction of sound, so especially if you're in a building, because they've recently made this a bit better. My keybinds are pretty standard with a few changes, but if you would like to copy them, I'll just slowly scroll through them. Now onto the Nvidia control panel. In adjust desktop color settings, I have my gamma on 1.54. This is a game changer when it comes to seeing people in dark areas such as dorms on customs. And on nighttime raids, you can literally see like pretty much like it's daytime. So it's usually on 1, so I'd crank this up to 1.54. You can't see it when I'm changing it because it's a monitor setting, so the recording doesn't pick it up. I also put my digital vibrance to 90%, which is quite high, so my game looks very colourful on my monitor. Some people might not like that, so just lower the setting until it fits your needs. I think it starts at 50. For me, this looks so grey, so I just crank it up to 90. That's going to wrap up this Tarkov settings guide for patch 0.15. I hope these settings help you survive and get the edge in your raids. Right now we're sitting at 495 subscribers at the time of recording this video, so if you're new here or found this guide helpful, hit that subscribe button and help me reach 500 subscribers. It would mean the world to me. And I've also got many more videos to come, such as loot guides, funny Tarkov videos, and even some more Tarkov movies that I've been working on. So if you like that kind of content, be sure to stick around for more. Thanks again for all the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck in your raids.